beautiful spring day. It's spring. This morning I want to talk about the power of acceptance. And that's quite a power to have. This past year I was really fortunate to be working with Bonnie and Sharon in the first year class. And between that and the meditation classes, the Wednesday night meditations, you could see the people that came in with positive attitudes and how they went forward, how they were more able to move forward and to absorb more, not necessarily faster, but just, they seemed to absorb more when they had that happy, positive attitude coming in. And the ones that tend to be more negative or bring negative with them, either from something that happened that day or even years ago, they tend to be held back a bit more. And every time Bonnie starts a meditation, or quite often she'll suggest that if you have any negative thoughts or any negativity with you, to put it in a garbage bag and wrap a red ribbon or a pink ribbon around it and just throw it out. But I often wondered, like, sometimes you'll tell people to let it go, just let it go. And I'm sure they want to let it go, but maybe they don't know how to. So, because you need to let it go in order to grow. And back in February, I got this book for my birthday. I haven't read it all, but the first chapter kind of answered that question. It's called The Promise by Graham W. Price. And he states, whenever we as humans are unhappy about anything, we almost always want that past or this very present moment to be different, which is pretty much wishing for the impossible. We know we can't change the past, but you still wish it were different. In fact, this very present moment, right now, it can't be changed either. We may be able to change the very next moment or the future. You could just suddenly stand up, or I could suddenly sit down, so you can change the very next future. But you can't ever undo what is already is. But yet that's what we're almost always wanting to do. What we almost constantly are wishing. Whenever we're unhappy or disappointed about anything, just think of anything that you're unhappy about, and you're constantly wishing it were already different. We're either wanting something that already happened not to have happened, or we're wanting a situation that exists right now to not exist right now. Either way, both ways, we're wishing for the impossible. And as humans, we spend a great deal of time and energy wishing things were already different. Wanting what has already happened in the past, or this very moment, to be already different. Such things as regretting something we've done or haven't done. Wish we had done this, wish we hadn't done this, but we already have. Being unhappy, dissatisfied, or stressed about something that's happened, or a situation that exists right now. And wishing we already have more abilities, more confidence, better health, more wealth than we currently have right now. Being unhappy or complaining unproductively about other people's actions. And in these examples, we're in fact wanting something to be already different, which is, as Graham Price puts it, it's crazy. Because nothing can be already different. So here's where the power comes in, and this is your power. What if we could accept the past and this very present moment all the time, and at the same time develop your abilities to change whatever you want to change, or to achieve whatever you want to change or achieve in the next moment? Just accepting whatever situation you're given instead of dwelling on wishing it were different. For example, Your alarm goes off, you get up for work, you have a shower, you have a healthy breakfast, everything's going peachy perfect. You get in your car, you start up the car, you look and you see, I got enough time to grab a coffee and a newspaper for work. But then you realize, oh, you forgot your lunch. So you run back in the house, grab your bag lunch, get back to the car, and the keys are locked in the car. So now you start cursing, you're pounding on the car because, well, it's the car's fault. You're pulling at your hair, you throw your lunch on the ground and you stomp on it. And you look and the keys are still locked in the car. So the negative response didn't change anything. It was a waste of time and energy. What if you could immediately accept the situation, not wish it were already different, and think about how to fix it and how to prevent it from happening again in the future? What if you could do this with every challenging situation you were ever faced with? And that's accepting what is. This type of acceptance is about not wanting something to be different. Accepting what is, or Reverend Alva often says, it is what it is, because it is. Which is accepting the past, or this very present moment. It means recognizing you cannot undo what already is, so there's no point wishing that something that's already happened, or a situation that exists right now, to not happen. Resisting what is, which is the opposite of accepting what is just another way of wanting something to be already different. Resisting what is the basis, the cause of almost everything that is unhappy or you're dissatisfied with. So resisting is the basis and the cause of practically all unhappiness and dissatisfaction. So see where the power comes in when you start to accept. It doesn't mean you have accepted or agreed with what happened, just that you have accepted it has happened. Accepting what is allows you to concentrate on what you need to do to change the situation for the better, to improve the future. For example, you failed your first driver's exam in there. So it's an upsetting situation. There's no point on dwelling on how much better it would have been had you passed. Wishing you had tried harder. Wishing you did better in the parallel parking where I messed up. You will find yourself happier if you accept what happened. Just for the simple reason that it happened and it can't be unhappened. Then concentrate on whatever needs to be done to better the future. Work on where you had the difficulty, practice some more, and just know that you will do better in the next driver's test. So when you're facing a challenging situation, don't waste a moment wishing it were different. Just concentrate on how to make it different. So how do we stop this habit of resisting what is or wanting things to be already different, and to replace it with accepting what is, and then concentrate on how to fix it? How do we stop that habit? What if whenever you're unhappy about anything, we could make ourselves aware that what we're wanting to do is to make it already different? Make yourself aware of that. What if we could acknowledge that that's unreasonable? It's silly, because nothing can be already different, so we're wishing for the impossible. Acknowledge that's what you're thinking. Then perhaps we can stop the thought and use that time to focus on what we can do to make it different in the next moment or in the future. When we realize that a thought is absurd, unreasonable, and has absolutely no advantage, no benefit to us, we are more capable of stopping it. If you don't think you can do this, just start with smaller issues and work your way up, because it does take practice. Something simple as you plan an outdoor picnic with your family and friends, you get up and it's raining. It's already raining. Instead of jumping up and down and screaming that the rain's ruining your day and wishing it would stop, because that's impossible, it's already doing it, make other plans. You can have an indoor picnic or go somewhere indoors. There's a lot of other choices you could make. Even something simple like you're putting your earring on in front of the bathroom mirror. Maybe the women, might be some guys, but you know, you're putting it on, it drops down the sink. So all the screaming and yelling and stomping is not going to bring that little earring back up the drain. There's other choices you can have. And we know we can't turn off negative thoughts. They're always going to be there. That's impossible to just turn them off. The main thing is to recognize we're wishing something already different, and that is illogical. It's irrational. And with that, we can usually stop the thought and concentrate on what we need to do to better the future. And sometimes when we listen to a guided meditation, you could put the CD on and the speaker will say, clear your minds. Well, we're always going to think of something. We can't try to force negative thoughts out of our mind. That's practically impossible. And so there was a cute little exercise in the book, but they used a picture of a pink elephant, and I thought, oh, I go a little bit better than that because I want the people at the back to see. So, okay, instead of a pink elephant, I've got a little green frog on a nice pretty riding a bike. So everybody can see it in the back. You see that? Okay. See it clearly in your mind. Okay. So the next 10 seconds, think about anything except that green frog on the bicycle. Okay? Don't on any account think of that little green frog on a pretty, colorful bicycle. Is it easy? It's not that easy, even when you're really trying. Letting go of a thought is something we can do when we realize it's foolish and it's of no value. And then we can replace that thought with how we can better the future. So by now you've probably stopped thinking about the little green frog on the bicycle, except I probably put it back in your heads. So that's positive acceptance. And positive acceptance is to notice you're wishing something were already different. Usually the case whenever we're unhappy. Think of an unhappy time and try to wish it were already different. You can't. Acknowledge this is unreasonable. It's an unreasonable thought. Nothing can be already different. So we're wishing for the impossible. The thought is irrational. It doesn't make sense. Stop the thought. Concentrate on what you can do to make it better for the future. And choose not to spend time and energy wishing it hadn't happened, and just concentrate your thoughts on bettering the future rather than regretting the past. I think most of us know the name Michelle Knight. Michelle Knight, she was one of the 3 women that was kidnapped, and she was held captive for 11 years. The other 2 were for 10 years. She was strung up on a wire. Her hands and feet were bound. She was chained to a pole, gagged with a dirty sock and duct tape, raped repeatedly, impregnated 5 times, and forced to abort 5 times through beatings and starvation. Can it get any more negative? She basically walked through the valley of death and emerged as a victor and a messenger of God with her new book called Finding Me. She let it go. Accepted that it happened, even forgave the man, and now she has a very positive, incredible outlook in her new, constructive, productive life. And whenever you see her being interviewed on TV, my goodness, she has this bright, cheerful, huge smile. You just want to hug her. And of course, she will think of the negative things that happened in her past. But she doesn't waste her life dwelling on it. She let it go so she could grow. And one other name, Amy Purdy, not as popular a name, she contracted meningitis at the age of 19. Had both her legs amputated below her knees. She's a professional snowboarder. She competed on Dancing with the Stars. She came in second, but to me, she's the winner. These are just 2 examples of millions who had the power to accept that it happened. Not accept what happened, but that it happened. And with that power, they let it go so they could grow. And holding on to negative thoughts, wishing they were different, especially for long periods of time, creates a non-productive, negative life. And if you hold on to it for years, it can even cause disease. And I hope that you can develop your power to acceptance. You have it already. Everybody has it. You just need to develop it and use it. Let it go so you can grow. And just imagine the power you could have if you accept and let it go so you can grow. So thank you. God bless.